Libby is a beautiful community. If you've never been to Libby, it is absolutely one of the prettiest parts of Montana. We have easy access to the outdoors. Within 20 minutes, you can be on any trail, hiking in beautiful scenic areas. On top of Libby is the fact that we have some great people. We have a unique community. We're somewhat isolated from the rest of the state. We have a population that 62% of our kids qualify for free and reduced lunch. We have a student population of 1,200 pre-K through 12. You walk into a classroom at the high school or you walk into a first grade room and you see dynamic things going on in those classrooms. And a lot of that surrounds our Roots and Wings document. Roots and Wings is our core instructional strategies for literacy. And literacy is in every subject we do. It is a document that we rely on throughout our district. What it helps do is it helps bring everything we do into a common form, which will help make our teachers successful, help make our kids in the classroom successful, and it helps us better communicate with our community what is going on.
One of the things we've been able to do because of the grant is create a continual improvement cycle. What does that mean? What does it look like? We've been able to break it into kind of 3 areas: continual improvement for teachers, continual improvement for the program, continual improvement for each child. And you know you're doing a good job from your heart, but we want to also have the data to show that and to be able to tell our community and the people that this is a quality program. Here's the data that shows that.
I have a daughter named Maddie, and she's 4, goes to school here. My oldest daughter went to like a private home preschool and learned a lot, but I've really noticed that Maddie, coming to the end of the school year and getting ready to go into kindergarten, she learned so much more, and she is already like reading words, and she just seems so much more prepared.
We were having our literacy circle, and so we had all the kids at the circle, and we were going over the story that we've been reading all week, and then we did our vocabulary words that we've learned this week.
What do you walk on?
A sidewalk! A sidewalk!
A sidewalk. That was our word from last week. You guys are very smart in remembering. But this week it's a different one. Wow. You got it, Tyler.
So my name is Lacey Farmer, and I am a kindergarten and first grade teacher at Libby Elementary School. Really, with our public preschool system, I feel like students that are coming in are very well prepared to be ready for kindergarten. Their phonemic awareness, they have that ability to look at numbers, understand numbers. I also think behaviorally and emotionally, they have had that ability to kind of practice through a lot of play, through a lot of great hands-on centers. So when they do come into kindergarten, they know what it means to have quiet time. They know what it means to have play time. You don't really have to teach them those behavior cues, and they're rock stars. They're just doing very, very well with our system, and they're ready now for first grade.
My name's Katie Dodson, and I am the assistant principal at Libby Elementary School. One thing I love about my job is I'm fortunate to have the opportunity to walk down the hallways and peek into classrooms. And as I'm doing the walkthroughs, I notice not only are the staff working hard, but the students are working hard. And I believe we've always worked hard, but through the Striving Readers Grant, we learned how to work smarter. We've improved our MTSS process. I'd like to show a picture of what this looks like, but it's focused both on the academic and behavior systems. And at our universal level, the grant has helped us establish an instructional framework. We have leadership planning, we have grade level planning, and we have instructional coaches that meet with teams and grade levels weekly, and then they report to the administration. And then we also have our behavior system in place, and we have a ROAR program. ROAR is we expect our students to be respectful, organized, have a positive attitude, and responsible. And that includes universal teach-tos within the classroom. We have a golden ticket program that's both inside and outside the classroom to help support our students. We also are working hard at helping them become gritty students, and what we mean by grit is helping them develop a growth mindset and not that fixed mindset of I'm not a good math student or I can't read this. It's the idea of I might not be good at this yet, but I have the power to get there.
In the past, we've had the Striving Reader Grant, and it has a high impact on our school. Carrie Cole would present during workshops something such as vocabulary. Our vocabulary strategy is whack a word. So what the students would do when they come to a new word is they'd first look for the W, which is word parts. So they'd look for root words, suffixes, prefixes that they already know the meaning of that. Second is apposition, so it's where the definition is actually stated there. Third is context clues, so they use the words around it to help them determine the definition.
So we have decade, we have word parts.
I see a word part, it's deck, and deck means 10.
So decade is a noun because it's a thing.
And then it's 10 years.
Yes. And then for brackets we should put W, and then we for word parts, and then C because we use the context clue like may and take and rate. So and WCK, and we use our own knowledge.
Yeah.
So it's just embedded part of our curriculum now, and the kids actually do a lot better on vocabulary tests like the SBAC test and the iReady test now.
When we first started the Striving Reader process back in 2013, our ISIP data, we ended the year with 55% of our kids green. By the time we finished with the Striving Reader project, we finished with 89% of our kids. And I think a lot of that was due to embedded professional development and the planning that took place with the teachers. These are our ISIP scores from 2013 and school-wide data. So at the end of 2013, we had 55% of our students that were benchmark. We had 25% of our kids were strategic and 21% of our kids were intensive. Fast forward to 2017 and 2016, I'll just show this. We ended the year with 89% of our kids were on benchmark, 7% were strategic, and 4% of our students were intensive. So it was a really good move data-wise for us. And since the Striving Reader project has moved on and we're now moving to MCLIP, we have a different set of data, and that is iReady. And we've been pleased with the process with this. So far at the beginning of this year, we had 30% of our kids that were on grade level. And it's a difficult test. And we had 47% that were one level below, and we had 24% that were more than one level below. At our winter testing, we were sitting at 55%, 31%, and 15%. So we're moving pretty well on that as well. We've pushed really hard in the last couple of years on our math instruction and our math professional development. We've learned a lot about our instruction, and it's working out pretty well for us. At the beginning of the year, we had 24% of our kids that were on grade level, and had 55% of our kids that were below one grade level below, and 21% of our kids that were more than one level below. And so far at winter testing, we had 52%. So we went from 24% to 52%. And I think one of the big lessons that we learned from the Striving Reader is to use data to make good decisions about our instruction. And I think that's just something that the building has embraced.
What'd I do to that 5 to turn it to a 10? What you do to the bottom, you do to the top. 2 plus 1 is? 3. 69 3/10. Am I done? No. Oh. Raise your hand, what's my next step? Garrett?
You need to do it meters squared.
Meters and the squared. Nice job.
I have the pleasure of being the principal of Libby Middle High School. This is my 5th year in the district. We have done some extraordinary things to put together common instructional strategies from the pre-kindergarten area all the way up to the 12th grade. Being able to transform our learning into practice and also into their own metacognition pieces to where they're using the practices in the way that works best for them, so that when they leave and go to college, they have strategies already in their bag. Roots and Wings is a teacher-led, teacher-created instructional practice that is common throughout our district from our pre-kindergarten area all the way up to our 12th grade. What our teachers did in creating it was to look at all the instructional strategies teachers have, and we have teachers that are master teachers that have been teaching for 20 plus years, and they took the common strategies. We came up with 6 that are led by an objective. Those 6, when you look at all the research, they are the leading things that transform schools. And that's why I think we're most proud of this structure, is that anytime we go into research, we have the tool, or we have a better tool than what's out there. And what this is it's a distributive process, because it's used not only in English class or math class, but it's used in our vocational eds, it's used in our wood shop, it's used in PE, it's used in every class that we have. And the great thing about our district is that it is from elementary all the way up, that we don't have to teach the same strategy. We're able to dive deeper into the material, we're able to go deeper, and we're able to transform that information to where it's the students own it.
Chronological order, what's another way we say it? Sequential order, okay, and then compare and contrast. So we've been working on identifying the text structure so that it helps us understand what the author's purpose is when we're reading their work, so that we can find out what the topic is, the main ideas, and what those important details are, what the point is, what we're learning. I'm developing tools to use in the classroom to be a better instructor, and those are the same tools I'm giving the students. So as I'm learning, teaching them to summarize, I'm doing a better job of summarizing my lessons. I think intentionally about, okay, if I want them to do this, then I need to practice it with them. They need to see it done on my end.
Today we did a bell ringer, an opportunity for me to assess the students in a formative way, to see if they're understanding the things that we've been talking about over the last couple of days. I scaffolded it. There were some things that we kind of built up along the way. There was an open-ended question to begin with, and I allowed the students to kind of work on it at their own for a minute or so, and then give them a bit of information to kind of keep the process going forward. Those bell ringers and warm-ups are really non-threatening. It's only to benefit them. I make it extra credit in class to try to encourage participation, but it really gives me insight to what the kids are thinking. From there, I base my lecture for the day and the lessons for maybe the next couple of days on the successes or failures of the students on that bell ringer. It really has allowed me to get a quick insight, and not only myself, but also the students. One of the things we talk about in class a lot is the first person to know if a student isn't understanding a concept is probably the student themselves. And so by doing those bell ringers, it allows some instant feedback for both myself and the students to understand if they know what they're doing or not. Last fact that'll help you solve it. 360 in a circle, Ashlyn. Okay, so somebody give me an equation now that I can solve to wrap this baby up. 180 plus 2y equals 360. Agreement? Solving. 2y equals 180, so y equals 90. Okay, so the length of the arc is 90 degrees. Plus 3, grade yourself out. Total is 6. You're going to have to score yourself and see how you did.
This is our Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3 instruction. If our Tier 1 has been gradually and steadily moving up, and what's nice is our Tier 2 and our Tier 3 instruction have been reducing and moving over into Tier 1. This has been a benefit of our grant. It's also been the benefit of our internal structures to show that our students are continually moving. Even when you're in the 70s and 80%, we're still making progress, and we're still reducing our Tier 2 and Tier 3 instruction. Over the last year and a half, we've done some common writing assessments in 7th grade through 10th grade. And we noticed that one of the parts missing from our Roots and Wings was a writing companion. That writing is the transformative piece that shows the students understanding ownership of the information to be able to explain it in written form. So what we've done is we've created a writing companion that will follow along with the book over the next couple of years. We will finalize it. We have the poster that is in draft version now, but it gives our strategies for how to teach it, and it's both the writing to learn process as well as the writing process. And I'm very proud of our district. We have done this as a 712 document, and the very nice thing is that this new MCLEP grant is going to be able to take this from our 7 through 12 version and back it down into our preschool and our elementary, which will give us another pre-K through 12 document. And what that's going to allow is that deeper learning, that easier transition, the common vocabulary, that distributive practice of everybody being able to do it. And what it does really for the high school is it allows us to do that disciplinary piece so that our students are thinking, reasoning, writing as a mathematician, a scientist, a historian, an artist, a musician. It changes the frame of how students learn and what's important to where they have ownership of the vocabulary, the information, and they're able to go to a deeper level because the common strategies are already there.